Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be sanding and prepping. I'm going to show you the different methods that I use to sand my tumbler. I personally love vinyl sand, which is why you see me at my sink. However, you do not have to use vinyl sand. There are numerous different ways in which you can sand your tumbler. The first being a regular piece of sanding paper, anywhere from 80 to 120 grit. 120 grit is my preference. You can also use a sanding block. These work great. And again, 80 to 120 grit when you're prepping. Finally, you can use a rotary tool, which again, 80 to 100 grit is going to provide you what you're looking for. As I said before, I personally love vinyl sand. This is my go-to choice and what I use to sand and prep. I simply place the vinyl sand onto my tumbler and use a scrubbing mat and scrub it all over my tumbler, and I rinse it off when I am finished. Sorry, I forgot to record that part. But you just spread, rub, rinse. Next, let's move on to prepping. You're going to want a mask. I use this one when I am spray painting. It is perfect for it. You can grab one on Amazon or Home Depot. I also like to use gloves. This you don't have to do, but it prevents the spray paint from getting all over your hands. I grabbed these ones at Home Depot. They're normal gardening ones, so I can reuse them. Then you're going to want your sand. This one I grabbed it on Amazon when I first got started, and it works perfectly for spray painting. I simply place my cup on it and use the foam tool to keep my cup steady. From there, I'm going to use a flat white. This is Rust-Oleum 2 times. I've shaken it really, really well to make sure that it's all mixed. And then from about probably a foot or more away, I'm going to start spray painting my tumbler. I start at the top and I do it in short bursts, as you can see. I do this all the way around the tumbler. This helps me get good coverage, but at the same time also helps me prevent from getting drips, which is especially important if the base coat is going to be part of the design. For this particular one, I wasn't really worried about full coverage just because my glitter is going to cover any bits and pieces that need to be. But if you have to go back for a second coat, please do that so that you have the coverage that you are looking for your design. I do recommend allowing it at least 20 to 30 minutes depending upon the temperature of your work environment before going in with your second coat. As you can see, I am simply just turning my tumbler around, making sure that I have good coverage on the top, bottom, and in the middle. Okay, moving into the last step. This tumbler is getting its final coat of epoxy. But before I do that, I need to make sure that I expose a stainless steel rim. That way my epoxy has something to hold on to. Again, I have my sanding block. I did wrap it with my sanding paper, and you'll see here that I have a Dremel with a flat blow on it. That's 120 grit. This is going to help me achieve that small rim of stainless steel for my epoxy to adhere to. I also have a coffee filter and alcohol. That way I can clean off my tumbler prior to epoxying it for the final time. First, I'm going to take my sanding block with my sandpaper wrapped all around it. I'm going to go over the entire surface of the cup. This will ensure that I have minimal to no bumps. However, if you can't get it perfectly smooth, please remember, this is a homemade tumbler. So imperfections are going to be part of your craft, and that is okay. That's what makes it special. Once I have gone around and I have sanded the entire body of the tumbler, I'm going to switch to my Dremel, which again, if you do not have a Dremel, you can absolutely expose the stainless steel with your sanding block. You're just going to want to take it at about a 45-degree angle and go all the way around the cup until you have your rim. Please don't worry. I remember when I first started being so worried that I wasn't going to get a small sliver of the stainless steel and it was going to be way larger than I had originally anticipated. I have yet to run into that issue. So go slow at first and know that you will be just fine, I promise. All right. Just getting ready to move into my Dremel work here momentarily. I do set it on the lowest setting. You can move the speeds up depending upon how comfortable you are with a Dremel. And again, you don't have to use the Dremel. You can always just use your sanding block or sandpaper. It will achieve the same thing. This is just a little bit quicker for me and a little less tedious. Just going to take my flap wheel all the way around the base of, the top rim of my cup. And again, we're just exposing a tiny seam of stainless steel. This helps make sure our epoxy has something to adhere to, and you're not going to have anything wonky happen once you send your product out to your customer. Okay, now once you're finished with your sanding, you're going to want to use that coffee filter and alcohol. And just really quickly wipe down the entire surface and the top rim of your cup. This way it gets all that dust and sanding off your cup. And if you have some epoxy on the top rim, as I do here, I am simply taking my crafting knife and running it along the edge of the rim to get any excess epoxy off. Super important you do this. You don't want to send out a cup or gift a cup to anybody with epoxy or paint. And finally, if you have branding stickers that you are wanting to finish your cup off with, now is the time to do it. So I am simply turning my cup over. Sorry that I'm a little out of frame here. And I'm getting my branding logo sticker. This also has care instructions on the bottom as a friendly constant reminder to your customers to hand wash their tumblers. And placing this on the bottom of my cup. And making sure I don't have any rogue glitters there, because this particular cup was not a glitter tumbler except for the handle. Now, once I have my logo sticker placed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal that in. This will make sure that I only have to do one final coat versus two. I personally love to use either quick coat or polyurethane, which you can snag pretty much at any hardware store or your local Walmart. But the one I'm about to show you, I grabbed at Home Depot. It is my favorite. I use it all the time for any logo stickers or vinyl that I need to fill in and I don't want to have lift. It also helps prevent bubbles when you're using printable vinyls. So super, super great product. I'm just using a silicone brush and I'm just sweeping it all over the bottom. Just a nice thin layer. Doesn't have to be thick. And then I'm going to allow that to dry for 30 minutes before I move in to my final coat of epoxy. Typically, final coats happen in one or two coats, just depending upon the design that you are